I believe that Chainlink is a sleeping giant. Now, when I say that, some people, they may think, okay, that sounds kind of weird. That's not logical. Take a look at its native token called Link. It's currently top 15 in the world in terms of market cap. Now, I get that, but I still think it's a sleeping giant nonetheless, because I think oftentimes people don't understand the ceiling of Chainlink, because I think it's very high. And as a result of that, I believe that Link could hypothetically go to the price of $200 during this bull run. And even though nothing I say is financial advice nor a guarantee, you got to take this into consideration. As of right now, there are so many decentralized applications. And what do these decentralized applications need for the most part? They need off-chain data. And this is where something like Chainlink does step in, because you take a look at, for instance, what is it known for? It's very well known for its decentralized Oracle network. Now, if we just take a look at an Oracle in this case, what is it, right? It's basically a data feed that brings data from off the chain, aka off-chain data, and brings that data over into the blockchain. Now, again, without this off-chain data, basically a lot of decentralized applications can't function properly. So you think about it, Chainlink, it's actually focused on solving real-world problems. It has actual solutions for that, and that's what I like about it. It's not some random project that's focused on nonsense, for instance. Now, also, take this into consideration. Chainlink doesn't have that many good competitors. And really think about this, right? Because you take a look at, there's something called Flare. Now, if you take a look at Flare, they have something called the Flare Time Series Oracle. That's pretty good. I'm bullish on Flare. You also take a look at the Pith Network. It's a blockchain oracle for market data. I like that as well. But really, other than that, the list kind of begins to fall apart in terms of the projects that have this oracle aspect. So isn't this good news for something like Chainlink? Because guess what? As more and more decentralized applications pop up, of course they need, this off-chain data. And if they don't have that many good options, guess who's going to have a higher probability to be chosen? The ones that do exist, much like Chainlink. Now, the special advantage about Chainlink is because it's so well established, such a very strong community. You take a look at how it's kind of been there for quite a while. And that right there does give it, a lot of brand recognition and also social proof, because if these decentralized applications do pop up, these developers, they're probably going to take a look at, okay, what do these other decentralized applications rely on? And if they see a lot of them rely on Chainlink, of course, naturally, that's going to make them gravitate more towards Chainlink. And that's what I like about it. Social proof is like this, for instance, 10 people believe in something, the 11th person is more probably going to believe in that too. And that's what I really love about Chainlink. Not that many good competitors, such an amazing solution for a problem that does exist. Again, the need for off-chain data. And also, it's the most established player within the space. And I really love that. So it's a really no-brainer pick for me. But of course, there's more, because some people may think that Chainlink is some sort of one-trick pony. It doesn't have that diverse of a use case. But that's actually not true. Even though its other use cases isn't well known or as popular, I still think it's amazing nonetheless that Chainlink has other use cases. Because, for instance, you take a look at something called VRF, which stands for Verifiable Random Function. Now, this right here is used for random number generation, and this right here could be especially useful for in the case of video games, where they do need random number generation. So I like that when it comes to Chainlink. Also, for instance, you take a look at proof of reserve services. Now, Chainlink has this. Now, this is used for in cases, let's say, a stablecoin issuer or a cryptocurrency exchange. They may want to showcase to the public, for instance, that they hold a certain amount of assets. This could be especially useful for that. So I think that right there is very amazing, because remember, not too long ago when FTX went down, a lot of these exchanges, they had to come out with proof of reserve services voluntarily, of course, right? They wanted the public to believe in them, to still have trust. So in situations like that, that right there is sort of something like Chainlink's proof of reserve services, again, could be especially useful. Now, let's not forget about this, though, because Chainlink has something called keepers. Now, this is not very widely known, but I still think it's very amazing nonetheless. Now, what keepers does is that it allows developers to automate certain smart contract tasks and functions that involve off-chain data. So yeah, when you take a look at Chainlink, it pretty much doesn't miss. It's pretty much a complete project, and I really love that. Now, if you want to take a look at some crazy and insane statistics, let me show you. Because, for instance, when we take a look at Chainlink, there's currently over 1,800 projects using Chainlink, and Chainlink has also been able to enable over $10 trillion worth of transactions, which is absolutely jaw-dropping. I mean, if you just take a look at the figure, $10 trillion, Now, some people may think this is not a fair comparison or whatever, but I'm just going to use this anyways. You take a look at the GDP of the United Kingdom back in 2022. That was around $3 trillion. So just imagine that, right? Now, of course, again, it's not fair to compare, GDP to, being able to enable value, right? Quite essentially in this case. But I just wanted to use this example to just showcase the scale of this figure. This is how amazing Chainlink is. It doesn't play any random games, right? It's actually focused on real world things. And also on top of that, it has an amazing track record because there's amazing adoption. A lot of projects, use Chainlink quite essentially, and I really like that. Now, also, you take a look at this. Currently global enterprises such as Google Cloud, we all know Google, shout out to Google. We take a look at Swift. Now, I'm not talking about Taylor Swift. I'm talking about, Swift, like in terms of banking. That's massive, right? You take a look at T-Systems, Amazon Web Services, Swisscom, and even Associated Press as well. They're all currently leveraging Chainlink, which is insane. Do you think these real deal entities would leverage something that's caca or trash? No, they wouldn't do that. I mean, come on. They're only going to choose something that's amazing. And I think that right there is a true testament to ask just how special Chainlink is. It's basically one of a kind. And I can't believe people are sleeping on this. People like to ask me, dude, why don't you own any Bitcoin, all this type of stuff? Why don't you own any Ethereum? Well, why would I own any Ethereum? First of all, if there's something like, Link. And also on top of that, why would I own Bitcoin? In terms of room for growth, it doesn't really have that much anymore. Link, even though it's not a small cap by any means, I still think it has a lot more room to grow than Bitcoin, especially during this bull run. So again, I think Chainlink is just that fantastic. Now, also take this into consideration. Some people out there, they're wondering why isn't Link at the price of $200 like today or 2 months ago or a month ago. They're saying, wow, man, this sucks. But keep in mind, I can't just wave some magic wand and demand Link to pump like today or like 2 months ago. That's not how it works. Typically, it takes some time, and I understand that, which is why I'm doing what I can control, which is dollar cost averaging, right? Acquiring any time and income, holding, waiting, believing in the project, studying, looking at the fundamentals. That's what I can control. If I try to focus on things that I can't control and I try to day trade, try to outsmart the market, try to use leverage, I could drive myself crazy. That could make me insane. I don't want that. I like to keep things simple because I feel like I'm a practical guy, which is why I like to dollar cost average, just acquiring, holding, and just waiting. That's it. Because that's what I can control again. I'm only going to focus on things that are within my control. Now, also take this into consideration. As a worst case scenario, it's been known that altcoins have typically peaked around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. Now, we consider how the Bitcoin halving event happened just back in April, which actually doesn't even feel like that long ago. But yeah, besides that point, 18 months from then is actually around October of next year, October of 2025, basically near the end of that year. Now, some people may think, okay, that's kind of a long time, man, waiting that long as a worst case scenario. Now, again, this is historically speaking, this is just not what I randomly believe, right? This is actually based off of history. But even besides that, I don't think this is too long because a lot of people that I know, they've been in the crypto space ever since 2021. So if they've been through, that dump that year, if they've been through, the Terra Luna crash, if they've been through FTX, with Sam Bankman-Fried, Celsius, whatever the case, right? All that type of nonsense that happened within that time, all the FUD about exchanges, also during those FTX days. If they've been through all that, the bear market when things are so boring, would it make sense to give up right now? Now, personally, I don't want to because, slightly over a year from right now doesn't seem so bad in the grand scheme of things. I feel like this is like a 10-mile marathon and I'm like 8 or 9 miles down. I'm not going to quit right now. Why would I do that? I want to hypothetically wait it out because I want to hypothetically see my prediction, become a reality. If it were to, let's say. So that's why I don't want to quit. And Link at the price of $200. Isn't this crazy pipe dream that people keep saying is? Because they like to say in the comments, oh, dude, you think Link is going to go to the price of $200? That's so ridiculous. No, I disagree. Because first of all, if it were to go to the price of $200, considering its current circulating supply, at that point, market cap would be around $120 billion. Now, this may seem insane at first glance, but you take a look at, for instance, something like BNB reached over $100 billion in market cap. And is BNB better than this? No, I don't think so, because even just last year, according to Crypto.com research, slightly over 2% of the crypto hacks that happened actually occurred on the BNB Smart Chain ecosystem. Is that great? No, man. I mean, the crypto space overall is massive, slightly over 2%. That's unacceptable. That's embarrassing. If BNB can reach over 100 billion, why can't, Link at least go to around 120 billion? Now also take this into consideration. Ethereum at one point reached over, $550 billion in market cap. Link at around $120 billion market cap is over $400 billion less than that. So I don't think this is crazy at all in the grand scheme of things. Even Dogecoin at one point reached around 80 billion. Link can't reach around 120 billion. This is a no-brainer for me. Now, not financial advice. This is just a hypothetical scenario, but $200 wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. You also have to take this into consideration. The Bitcoin ETF, the number of institutional investors, is amazing. Even though I don't own any Bitcoin, even though I'm not a fan of Bitcoin personally as an investment for me, even despite that, I do believe that a lot of altcoins are going to depend on Bitcoin naturally. And as Bitcoin reaches those great heights, like 100,000, 150,000, I think altcoins, much like Link, they're going to go along with the ride. And at that point, $200 wouldn't surprise me because it may be hard to believe right now, but around a year from right now, I think things could look so different when it comes to Bitcoin, altcoins, just in general. Also sentiment, everything like that. So that's why I'm staying patient. Also, over 600 million crypto owners as we speak, according to Crypto.com research. This is more than ever before in history. Take this into consideration. Back in 2021, during the peak of that bull run, there was roughly only around 300 million crypto owners. Now there's practically double that amount. Could you imagine the FOMO, the buying pressure, the buying volume? It's going to be insane. And again, I think this altcoin season could look so legendary. All I got to do is just wait, stay patient. Around a year from right now, that could hypothetically very well be Sizzler time going to Applebee's, if you know what I mean. The Link at the price of $200 during the peak of this bull run with all those amazing factors taken into consideration, I don't see why not. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's Malik the Captain. I'll catch you all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.